everyone, it's Jananie and welcome back to my channel, This Story Ain't Over. So today I'm coming to you with another book haul. It's been a little while since I did my last one, which was at the end of January, right around the time, my province was going into a major lockdown, and nothing has really changed. So I have accumulated a bunch of books since then, and I will put the disclaimer here that most of these were sent to me unsolicited by the publishers or for certain campaigns, and then a bunch of them were also in book boxes that I also received from the companies for free. But there's a smaller fraction of books that I bought myself that I'm super excited about. I went to the bookstore for the first time in like months, which was really exciting, and it was just really nice to pick up some like new releases that I was excited about. So yes, it's gonna be a good time. Grab your notepad and get your Goodreads out so that you can mark down all of these books that you're going to want to read very soon. Alright, so the first book that I want to mention is Go the Distance by Calonita, and this video is being kindly sponsored by Disney Book Group, so thank you so much to them. And when they asked me to talk about this book in a video, I was super excited because Hercules is one of my favorite Disney movies ever. I just found it so much fun. I have always liked Greek mythology, and I just love like Megara as a character, and this book, lo and behold, centers Meg as the main character. So this book, like the other books in the A Twisted Tale series, asks a certain question after the end of a Disney movie. So this one asks, what if Meg had become a Greek god? So this book follows, the end of Hercules, and, he has been honored by all the gods and they've accepted him back in. But Zeus tells Meg that she can't be with Hercules because she is still a mortal. She's not a god. So Hera swoops in to the rescue and tells Meg that she can become a god and an immortal if she completes a certain quest. And that mission ends up being saving Meg's ex's current wife from the underworld. And obviously this is something that Meg does not want to be doing. This is the woman that her ex left her for, even after she had sold her soul to Hades, which, lands her in the situation that she's in the movie. Even after she had done that, he left her for another woman, and now Meg has to save that woman from the underworld in order to attain her immortality and be with her one true love, Hercules. So it seems like a really fun and interesting situation, and we're obviously going to get more of Hades in this story because she's, deliberately going to save someone from the underworld, and I just love this entire concept, and I love, Hercules as a movie, so I'm excited to see like more extra content from the characters of that version of Hercules. And overall, I think it's just going to be a really fun time. So yeah, definitely go check out Go the Distance, and the link in my description if you want to learn more about the book. I think it's a really great concept, and I cannot wait to pick this up. Alright, so I want to start with some books that I bought myself because I'm just so excited about all of these. So the first one I want to talk about is Act Your Age, Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. So this is the newest installment in the Brown Sisters kind of series. And for those of you who don't know, each of the books in this series are sort of companions to each other. You don't really need to read them in order. I actually read the second book before the first one, and this is the third one. And each book follows a different sister among the Brown sisters and their love story. Each of the main characters is very unique and, is dealing with their own struggles. The main character in the first book, Chloe, has a chronic illness, and in the second book, the main character is bisexual, and in this third book, it does have some autism rep, which I thought was super cool, and I've actually already started this, and it's already so great, and I think I might even end up liking this one more than the other ones because it is a bit of a enemies to lovers story, and I feel like I relate to Eve as a character a lot because she's the youngest sister, and I am the youngest of three sisters. So yeah, super excited about this, and I think it's just gonna be like the perfect romance to pick up. For those of you who are like concerned with steaminess level, these books are quite steamy, so I would stray away from them if you are not into that. Alright, the next book that I bought is Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers, and this was definitely a like totally whim buy for me. I went to the bookstore and I saw it and I was like, oh, I really want to pick this up because I've seen so many people rave about this on social media. But from what I know, this follows our main character, Grace Porter, who has just completed a PhD in astronomy, and she's just this very highly achieving person. But things go slightly awry when she goes to Las Vegas, gets super drunk, and gets married to a woman that she does not know at all. So this is a story of what unfolds from there, and I'm really curious to see like what spurs the moment of her, going to Las Vegas and ending up in this situation. But I've heard it's a lot of fun. It's like, a romance in your 20s, but also just learning to adult. And I think it's just gonna be a lot of fun. It's set in New York, and so many people have told me great things about this, so I think it's gonna be fantastic. Let me know though if you guys have read Honey Girl. I would love to hear more thoughts. Alright, and then the next book that I bought is The X Talk by Rachel Lynn Solomon. So as you can tell, I was kind of on a bend for romancy books. I picked this one up because I saw Alexandria on Bookstore Instagram pick this up and say that she enjoyed it. She also has a booktube, so I'll leave it linked down below. But from what I know, this involves an interracial couple, and it seems like a really cute, like, enemies to lovers situation. So our main character, Shay, has been a producer at this radio show company for a while, and her new colleague, Dominic Yoon, is like really arrogant and thinks he knows everything, and the two of them have been like clashing for a while. And so when they're trying to think of like this new show concept, they come up with the X Talk, which is where two exes will kind of come on air and talk. And so their boss is like really excited about it and totally greenlets the show, but then he proposes that Shay and Dominic actually be the co-hosts for the show because they already hate each other. And so they end up in this charade where they're acting like each other's exes on this show, and they also kind of don't like each other, and it turns into this enemies to lovers situation. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm super excited to pick it up, and if anyone has read this, let me know what you thought of it, and if you think the audiobook might be worth picking up, because I feel like this might be the type of book that you'd want to listen to because of the whole, you know, radio show aspect, but let me know. All right, the next book that I bought was Yoke by Mary H.K. Choi. So I absolutely love Mary H.K. Choi's books. I loved Emergency Contact, and I really, really loved Permanent Record. I think she just has a way of writing so that you feel like you're in the place that she's writing about, like you feel so grounded in the reality, and you feel like the characters just come to life off the page. And so Yoke is no different, and I actually filmed a full reading vlog for this, so go check it out. I will leave it linked on the screen or down below. But this follows the relationship between these two sisters. So the older sister is June and the younger sister is Jane. And it's from the perspective of Jane, and she's sort of struggling through university and with her own personal mental health. She is dealing with an eating disorder as well, so be careful of that as like a trigger. But this mainly features their relationship as Jane finds out that June has cancer, and they're both kind of going through this like difficult time together. But it's definitely not a like super sad book, I would say. It deals with this like difficult topic, but it also has some really fun and funny moments. June and Jane have this really interesting dynamic that is really fraught with tension, but also in the times when they're getting along, it's just really fun and hilarious. And I also just loved being in Jane's head because she is such a particular character, and you just really get to know her in the book, and the way that Mary H.K. Choi describes her is just so specific. And there is a little bit of romance as well in this one, so you can look forward to that. But overall, I think it's such a well-rounded book, and I devoured it in like a single day, I think. So it was just such a great read, and I just loved it so much. It's definitely become like an all-time favorite book of mine, and I just want more people to read it, so go pick it up. It's also a really beautiful copy. I don't know if you can see it because I've tabbed all of it, but like you can see their hands joining over the pages here, and then the other sisters on the back, and it's just such a beautiful package. Alright, and the last book that I bought myself is Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. So I was so excited when I found out that Kazuo Ishiguro had another book coming out. I absolutely loved The Remains of the Day by him, and I need to read Never Let Me Go. I do have it, I just haven't gotten around to reading it. But when I found out about this one, I was super excited because it seems to involve like the concept of artificial intelligence. It follows a main character, Clara, who is something known as a artificial friend, and she sits in the store waiting for someone to come in and pick her and take her home. And so it explores the idea of artificial intelligence, but also like love and what it means. And the quote on the back is super cool. Do you believe in the human heart? I don't mean simply the organ, obviously. I'm speaking in the poetic sense. The human heart. Do you think there is such a thing? Something that makes each of us special and individual. Yeah, I love the way that Kazuo Ishiguro's books like question big themes, and so I'm super excited to see how he deals with this theme in this one, and I just cannot wait. I haven't read like a more literary book in a really long time, so I'm excited to try it out with this one, and I just love the way he writes. Like, it's just so beautiful, so yeah, excited about it. If anyone has read Clara and the Sun, let me know. I know it just came out, but I would love to hear more thoughts. And I know I said that was the last book that I bought, but actually I bought 3 more books. So I also bought Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. So this is the newest installment in the Last Hour series. I have a whole reading vlog for this, so go check that out if you want to learn more. There is like a non-spoilery bit at the beginning, and then I get into spoilers after that, but I will just say that this book is just nothing but pain, and that's what I was here for. So yeah, the angst just killed me, and I loved seeing our characters back together again, and just getting to see what happened after the ending of Chain of Gold. And now I have to wait in pain for Chain of Thorns when that eventually comes out, after the killer ending that this has. So yeah, super excited. This was fantastic, and I also just love the cover, so that's why I went and bought the final hardcover. I did have an ARC, but I just had to have like the collector's first edition of it, because I have all of Cassandra's books in first editions, except for I think the original 3, like City of Bones. Yeah. And then the other 2 books that I bought are City of Brass and The Kingdom of Copper by S.A. Chakraborty. I've had these on my TBR for like the past couple months, but I haven't gotten around to finishing them. I am in the middle of The City of Brass, but I'm hoping to finish it sometime in the next couple months. It is a like high fantasy set in 18th or 19th century Cairo, I believe, and it involves like jinns and ifrits and all those creatures and beings from Middle Eastern history and folklore. So I'm super excited about like continuing with the series, and I've heard so many great things, and yeah, so far I'm really liking it. I just like haven't gotten around to having the time to finish them because I've had to read other books. Alright, so now I want to get into the book sent to me by the Epic Reads team at HarperCollins. So the first book is Charming as a Verb by Ben Philippe, who you may know as the author of The Field Guide to the North American Teenager, which I know is a popular book. I haven't read it personally, but I've heard really great things. But I am super excited to pick up Charming as a Verb because it seems like such a cute little rom-com. It involves like 2 main characters sort of hustling each other. So it follows our main character, Halti, who is a first-generation Haitian son, and he has this like dog walking side job that he has for wealthy New York, neighbors. But his dog walking side job is less than completely honest. And when his classmate and neighbor Corina Troy kind of figures this out, and she's the one person who happens to be completely immune to Halti's charms. So when she finds out that he is not completely honest about his dog walking scheme, she sort of blackmails him into helping her improve her image at school. So the 2 of them are hustling each other, but also falling in love. It seems like a super cute little book, and I love that it's set in New York, and I absolutely love this cover as well. It's super, super cute. So yeah, I cannot wait to pick this up, and I just love how adorable it seems. Alright, and the other book that Epic Reads sent to me is If I Tell You the Truth by Jasmine Kaur. So this is the follow-up novel to her poetry collection, When You Ask Me Where I'm Going. This was her debut book, and this, like its predecessor, is a mix of prose and poetry. This has definitely a lot more poetry, but from what I can tell, this book follows some characters that you meet in When You Ask Me Where I'm Going, a character who's kind of fleeing Punjab with her daughter and facing the trials of that situation, and this also incorporates some poetry as well. I went to an event that Jasmine Kaur had in Brampton, I think, in Canada, and it was really, really amazing. I loved hearing her perform her poetry aloud, so I'm really excited to check out her next book. And this one is a lot chunkier than the other one, so I'm excited to see, if I'll enjoy this one more. I really, really loved some of the poems in the previous one. Alright, this next book was sent to me by Penguin Teen, and that is A Taste for Love by Jennifer Yen. So when I'm filming this video, I have not yet picked this up, but it is on my March TBR. But I'm super excited about this one because it seems like a rom-com, and it follows a Taiwanese American main character whose mother really wants to set her up with other eligible Taiwanese American kids. And our main character has often disagreed with her mother, but the one thing that they do agree on is baking. And so when she decides to, help her mother out and volunteer for a junior baking competition, she soon finds out that it is a ploy by her mother to set her up with eligible Asian American young men. And so it's sort of this bachelorette situation, but it's also, from what I've heard, a sort of retelling of Pride and Prejudice. The first line of the book actually goes, it is a truth universally acknowledged that a mother in possession of great wisdom must be in want, nay, in need of a daughter who will listen. So I thought that that was really, really cool, and there's obviously a major love interest that comes in, and I'm just super excited about this. So yeah, it seems like a lot of fun, and I just love that it involves baking and boba as well, as you can tell from the cover. So yeah, excited for all of the pastry goodness. Alright, the next couple books were sent to me by Amplify Bookstore, and they are a store based in Australia, and they do have an online store and global shipping, and so they were kind enough to send me these 2 books. So The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna and Queenie by Candice Carty-Williams. This is sort of a adult contemporary following a black main character who's dealing with an upheaval in her life. And then The Gilded Ones is this bold and immersive fantasy following a very strong female main character, and I've started reading this one, and it is already already super, super cool, a little bit dark, but super fun. And I'm so thankful to Amplify Bookstore for sending these to me. And they are such a great store because they're very intent on supporting BIPOC voices. So yeah, definitely go check them out. I'll leave their Instagram linked down below in their store. They also have some really great recs on their Instagram page as well, so definitely go check them out. All right, now I'm getting into the books that I got in various book boxes. So Illuminacrate, Illuminacrate, and Fairy Loot. I have unboxings for all of these books, so I'm just going to briefly show you the books. But from Illuminacrate from January and February, I got Winter's Orbit by Everina Maxwell. This seems like a high fantasy-ish sci-fi, and it involves characters from different royal families and political marriages, and I'm very interested by that entire concept, and I haven't read a full-on sci-fi in a while, so I'm excited to try this one out. And then in the February box, I got A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth, and I'm super excited about this book because it is set in Toronto, and it's sort of a urban fantasy, so kind of moral instruments, but it involves fairies, which is super cool, and it's also queer, so there's an FF romance in it as well, and I'm just super excited about that, and it's just really gorgeous with these sprayed edges, and I just cannot wait to pick up both of these because they seem right up my alley. Alright, and then the books that I got in the January and February Illuminacrate boxes are Laura by Alexandra Bracken, and then the Gilded Ones by Namina Forna. So this is the third edition that I have of this book. I have the original, I have this one, and then I have another one, which I'll talk about in a sec. But this is a really cool kind of black version, and the whole box for this was really cool. I loved everything in the Greek mythology themed box that they did. But yeah, I feel the black really fits the story though, because it's a lot darker than it seems. I do have a full review of this book in my January wrap-up, so if you want to hear more of my thoughts on it, go check out that video. And then this is the edition of the Gilded Ones in the box, and it actually has this beautiful background design that isn't on the original, which I thought was super, super pretty. So I'm excited to have this edition because it's just super gorgeous, even though it's already super gorgeous. And I'm actually in the middle of reading this when I'm filming this video, and it seems super, super interesting. I'm not very far into the book, but what I've seen so far is quite dark, so I'm really interested to see how it's going to continue. And then for Fairy Loot, the January and February boxes, I got Laura by Alexandra Bracken in the January one, and this is the third edition that I have of this book, and I love this one because it has this sprayed edge with the snake on it, which I think is super, super cool. This is the most unique of the editions that I have of it, and I just love this so much. So I'm going to be displaying it like this on my shelves hopefully soon. And then in the February box for Fairy Loot, I got this Golden Flame by Emily Victoria, and this is sort of set in this ancient fantasy world, and there's this ruling group of scribes, and they don't really care about family bonds, so they send the main character's brother away a long time ago, and so she's always been kind of bent on finding him again, and in the process of doing that, she ends up awakening this ancient automaton that her father had, and he has his own thoughts and feelings, and his name is Alex, and I don't know if he's a POV character, but he is a major character, and you are kind of getting that juxtaposition of a real human and an automaton, and it really reminds me of Cryer's War by Nina Varela, the kind of automaton aspect of it. So I'm excited to see how this goes. If anyone has read it, let me know because I know next to nothing about it. Alright, but those are all of the books that I wanted to haul today. I feel like I've been talking for ages because there were so many books on this haul. I bought so many and I was sent so many, and I'm just excited about all of these books. Definitely go check out Go the Distance and the link in my description if you want to learn more about the book and the series as a whole. But I would love to hear from you guys what books you're excited for, and if you have any of these on your TBR for the month. And I would also love it if you would let me know what you thought of any of these books that I said I haven't read yet, because I always look to you guys for reviews and thoughts, and they really do affect what I'm going to pick up next. Because if I see one of you comment that you really like something or that you didn't really connect with something, it really does affect what I'm going to read next. So I love hearing your opinions. But thank you so much for watching. Go check out my Instagram, Twitter, and Goodreads in the description down below if you want to hear more bookish and reading updates from me and just regular life things as well. And I will see you in my next video. So please remember that this story ain't over. Bye!